Well, alright guys, so welcome back to Gamer Today. Today we're going to be talking about The Division 2. Now, if any of you guys know me, I hated The Division 1 with a goddamn passion. It was one of the worst games I've ever played of all time. I absolutely hated The Division 1 for so many reasons. So when I saw that they were making a sequel, I was a bit skeptical, of course. Why would I not be? Because the first one was so bad in every single way and the expectations were so damn low. I just wanted to check it out for myself. So of course the open beta was from March 1st to the 4th. So if you guys are seeing this now, you should be able to at least play it. Now, open beta does not mean a finished product by any means, but I will say I know enough about what to expect from the Division 1 of what their quality control looks like as a finished product. And I will say a lot of the issues that I had with Division 1 are still here in Division 2, but they did do one thing right, and that is atmosphere. Creating a post-apocalyptic wasteland in a world of a game is not exactly the easiest thing to do, and Division 1 saw that firsthand because it sucked. I made fun of that game like you wouldn't believe. I hated it with a passion. The bird that was supposed to fly around was always the same bird. Things just didn't feel alive. The game world was bland. Honestly, it made me feel nothing like I was in the world of a post-apocalyptic. It just made me bored out of my mind. And then the AI was extremely bad as well. And that's still prevalent in this game too. The AI is still complete shit. Honestly, it still sucks. Animations of being shot down and stuff have gotten better, but not significantly better where it's like worth mentioning and bragging about. But it is still better. I would tell you this, if you're going into The Division, expect the gameplay of something like a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 game. I'm going to be honest with you, it's like from that time period. It just doesn't feel modern at all. None of it does. But I will say the atmosphere is great. They really did make the world feel alive this time. The amount of dialogue from the characters that you walk across, things like that, all feel very good. That is something amazing, and I think the story is a lot better this time as well. I do like what they've done with it. It's kind of that whole sheriff routine thing, but it's interesting. But I don't want to pretend to understand the entire game because I really don't, and I don't really want to take the time to understand it. The cover system is a bit flawed, but it's better than the first game by far. Animation is definitely better as well, so that's something to at least mention, because animation was brutal in the first game. In the second game, there's a lot more stuff to it. There's definitely more world environment stuff, you know, blowing things up, you know, smoke, gases, etc., viruses, whatever the hell else is going on. There's a lot more going on there, for sure. It's definitely better than the first one. I just gotta keep saying it. Definitely better, but it's more of a corridor shooter. Each mission makes you kind of feel like you're in a corridor type shooting situation. You go from one room to the next, it's much of the same, rinse and repeat. Kind of like the first one, but a little bit worse, if anything, with the whole corridor feel. It definitely feels like a dated concept for a game, and feels quite broken. Again, it just feels a little annoying, and then the amount of bullet sponging there is in this game. And I know it all comes down to how good your gun is, all this, etc., but the guns aren't balanced, and most guns are, you know, better than others, and you're going to find yourself, you know, with a legendary gun of some sort, and you're still not going to like the way it feels or the way it shoots. You're going to shoot someone in the head with it, and they're not going to die, stuff like that. And that's something I really can't stand. Any game, I don't care what game it is, if we're talking about humans versus humans, and we shoot someone in the head, they need to die. That's just the way it works. Everyone assumes you shoot someone in the motherfucking head, they die. That's just what we all assume. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If I shoot you in the head in real life, would you expect to die or be alive? That's my point. When we're talking, you know, aliens and all this other stuff, it's a bit more open, you know, you can kind of use your imagination. You don't know, it's an alien. Maybe the head is bigger than ours, maybe stronger, I don't know. But let's use our brains here. Before I shoot it, of course. But my idea is this. If I shoot something in the fucking head, it should either die and take a lot more damage. But in this game, it takes more damage, but not by much. And on top of that, they don't die in point-blank range if I shoot them in the head. You know, and the animation for when they get hit is totally off, and that throws me off. But I will say, and I'm going to show you guys this, the entire clip of it, the opening cutscene is amazing, stunning, probably one of the best openings to a game I've seen in a long time. Honestly, it's the best thing about this fucking game. It made me actually interested. I was like, wow, this is how far we've come with, you know, rendering and all that. And of course it's all, you know, post-rendered, etc. It's all very high-tech CG and all that. It's really crazy stuff what they did. But the point is, it looks amazing. I don't care how they got there, it just looks stunning. So watch this clip real quick and you guys can be the judge.
We took things for granted. We expected coffee in the morning. We expected free Wi-Fi. When those were taken from us, we survived. When communications broke down, the trains stopped and the internet went dark, we survived.
But when the pharmacies were looted and hospitals shut down, asthma became lethal. And with no police to protect you, did you own a gun?
Did your neighbor?
Some survived.
We are a resilient species. When our society collapsed, we found ways to go on. And now, for the first time in centuries, what we want is also truly what we need. In the face of disaster, we helped each other.
We built new communities in the ruins of the old. We adapted. We survived. Established a new normal. But there are also those who build nothing. Create nothing.
Hyenas preying on the weak. They've made our world bleed. But we don't stand alone. A brave few have sworn to protect us and save what remains. They unite us.
Remind us that we are one people. They are our shield and our light. But if that light goes out,
who can save us then?
And this is how the game begins after that cutscene, and it's still a really good opening to a game. I really like what they did with it, and it definitely is a lot better. It felt really good, but it still felt dated. It doesn't feel dated in its look. I mean, the game's visuals are not stunning by any means in the terms of like the graphic fidelity. If you're playing this on PC, which what you're seeing here is PS4 Pro, but if you're playing this on PC, even then the graphics do have some issues, but the lighting is so much better. At least the textures are somewhat better. Currently on the PS4 Pro, what I'm seeing here is no enhancement over a base PS4, based on what I'm showing here. I don't have a base PS4 to test it with, but I'm just saying, if this is fucking anything better than the PS4, like, don't even buy it. Like, seriously, don't buy it, because this is brutal. I mean, the textures are definitely running at their lowest resolution they probably can. It's almost like bare minimum, but like almost like mobile. Like, I can't explain it, but it just makes me think I could play this on a cell phone. Because in reality, there are some cell phone games that actually look better than this game. And I mean, do much of the same concept. So I'm kind of like, they really could have done better than this with this game, honestly. It feels like it's not well optimized by any means. Screen tearing is still prevalent even during these scenes. It's, again, The Division 2, it's good to a degree, but I really feel like it's made from a different decade. Some things feel stunning and feel very modern. Other things feel way dated. The more core elements of the game feel dated, while some of the actual elements of the RPG mechanics seem very futuristic or very current. But the rest of the game is back in the fucking history books, you know? And that's what my problem is. That's my problem. It's brutal. But anyways, guys, if you do enjoy this video and if you do have something to add to this conversation, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hate comments, and I really don't care, to be honest with you. I would love to hear some of them down below. If you like what I've said, or if you agree with anything I've said, tell me in the comment section down below as well. I want a discussion about this game, if you guys even see it. I don't know if anyone's even looking for this game. I think this is going to be a very not popular video, because I don't know who the fuck out of their mind is trying to buy the Division 2. But if you guys are one of those Division players, ooh, I play the Division, oh god, the Division, go crazy, just as bad as those Fort Siege fucking players. Let me tell you guys something. I'm gonna tell you this, okay? There was a game that was supposed to be made years and years ago. I was extremely excited from it. And what ended up happening is the studio got split into 3 different teams and 3 different game projects. They made Fort Siege, they made the stupid Division game, and then the other developer made, what game did they make? They made the, a little bit later, of course, they made it, but that was the main team that made that game. The, trying to think of the name of it, the Wildlands, is it? Oh, I can't even think of it. Tom Clancy's Wildlands, is that what it is? Oh, I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comment section down below. But anyway, they made 3 games, okay? And basically, the studio was supposed to have all 3 teams working on one big project called, basically, it had been renamed 3 times. Okay, it had been renamed multiple times. The project kept getting redone and redone and redone. And this is what the Division 2 is actually really cool for, because the story and the idea of the game is actually what this game was supposed to be originally, which was called Rainbow Six Patriots, I believe is what it was called. Rainbow Six Patriots was the last official game name that it gave the game. And I find this cool because the story is very, very, very close to what they were supposed to do back in the day. A game that was way long ago supposed to be released, okay? We're talking long, long time ago. I think it was like 2009-ish, etc. At least a while ago, okay? I don't know. You guys can look this up online. Look about the story and see what it was supposed to be about with terrorism and all this other stuff going on. It was exactly how this game is, with the story and the atmosphere. But the only difference is the RPG mechanics. There was supposed to be some RPG mechanics, but it was supposed to be a lot closer to Rainbow Six Vegas 2 in terms of the actual feel of the game. It was supposed to be using that engine, but a modified version of it, which I would have loved to have back in the day. But then, of course, things kept happening, and the game kept getting renamed, etc. And then finally, it was supposed to be Patriots, then that was officially cancelled, and then the 3 different studios made 3 different games, and that's what you got. And it's just another example of how the developers actually, not the developers, but the publishers have been abusing the franchise's name. You know, Rainbow Six used to be a quality product back in the day. Now you've got all these different products from different, you know, these different studios working on these different products. And it's like, these studios should be at least grouped together into 2 studios or 1 big studio. Having all 3 studios working on different games could be a good thing, but when you have an ambitious project like this, or if you have such a, you know, big idea, and you put all these developers spread across, and you're, you know, spreading yourself thin, or you're outsourcing all these ideas to different, you know, companies to make it for you. For instance, like these development studios, they might hire some outside company to make certain models, animations, things like that, or they do it all in-house. And I'm not quite sure what the Division 2 story is in reference to that, because I really don't know. But to be honest with you, that's something that I know that this publisher has done a lot of over the years. And I find it really annoying because it's super frustrating, you know, when these products come out and they're not up to the standard you expect. It can be a little annoying, you know. It's just not what you expect, and you end up getting frustrated because it's not holding up to the quality products that you had before with the same name. Some of the graphics and stuff, for instance, look great some of the time, but they're all running at such low resolution on the consoles. It's just so frustrating that they couldn't get a little bit more out of these consoles because they're not optimizing the game. And that frustrates me. I hate the fact that they're not trying to optimize. Their optimization is so bad. Their AI is so bad. The fact that when I shoot someone or make a noise, they instantly zoom to cover. Like, I could shoot them, and instead of actually taking a little damage, they zoom to cover. Some of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time they will zoom to cover. If there's cover real close to them, they zoom to it like I don't know, like... I'm going to jail! It's like, it's crazy. It's just annoying because it makes the game feel artificially longer than it needs to. Just to complete one mission in this game, I took a long time. And it really irritated me, because it wasn't that the game had a lot of enemies to throw, or there was a lot of things going on, etc. It was just that the enemies were so boring. Like, they just kept hiding under cover. You know, it was frustrating. The way they're programmed is just like artificially making it longer. I can't explain it to you too well, but what I can say is the game has some horrible AI. It really does. And they haven't fixed it from the first one. Now, there are some issues that are kind of fixed from the first Division, but for the most part, all the AI perks and dumb stuff that happened in the first game still happen in this game. And they're just as bad, almost, if anything, maybe slightly better. Well, actually, I don't know how long it's been, to be honest with you, but I did do it on the channel at one point. But my whole point is, guys, I hate the Division 2. I think they need to really focus on their core bare bones elements of the game, because they can't even balance guns. I mean, they can't balance guns, they can't balance the armor, they can't balance the AI, they can't do anything. They're just making games with a name and sticking it out there for everyone to see. It's fucking frustrating. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment, like, down below.